Hello and welcome back. Okay, vocabulary time. Vocabulary. List 27. 25 words. First, all together, and then we'll go back and look at each word and expand on each word. Are you ready? Desalentador, discouraging. Desalentador, discouraging. It's discouraging if you don't progress. If you watch this program every day and you don't progress, it's discouraging for you and it's discouraging for me. I will encourage you. Te voy a animar, alentar. You can do it. Puedes hacerlo. You're perfectly capable. You are perfectly capable of learning English. Don't worry. Don't get anxiety-ridden. Don't get tight. Don't get tense. Relax. You will progress. You'll see. You'll progress. So don't get discouraged. But if after 3 months, both you and I verify that you're not progressing, it's a bit discouraging. Es un poco desalentador. It's a bit discouraging. My God, after making such an effort and still you're in the same place, it's very discouraging. But I don't think that's going to happen, so don't worry. I want to encourage you to make an effort. I want to encourage you to watch this program every day. I want to encourage you in the sense that you are very capable of progressing or improving in the English language. Let me encourage you. Déjame que te anime. Anímate. Come on. Don't be down. Come on. Let me cheer you up. Cheer up. Cheer up. Anímate. Cheer up es cuando quieres levantar los ánimos a alguien. Porque si alguien está un poco deprimido. Don't be depressed. Don't worry about your English. Don't get depressed. Okay? No te deprimas. Don't get depressed. No estés deprimida. Don't be depressed. Okay? Your English is not as bad as you think, and you are perfectly capable of progressing. So, cheer up. Anima, anímate. Levanta los ánimos. Come on. All right? Ahora, cheer up es cuando alguien está de un poco de capa caída. Ahora, to encourage es simplemente animar a alguien. Ah, me alegro que estés aquí. Te animo a seguirme. I encourage you to follow me, okay? And don't get discouraged. Don't worry. It takes a long time to learn English. And people who get constantly discouraged have a longer journey than people who don't get discouraged. To get discouraged is desalentarse, desanimarse. It's often a psychological question, not a linguistic question. So, more positive. Okay? Be happy. Don't worry. And you will improve. Slowly, but you will improve. And you will notice the changes. So, I encourage you to watch this program every day. I encourage you to watch other programs on Aprender Inglés TV. I encourage you to pay attention. But I also encourage you not to get tense and upset if you don't understand everything. It's a question of time and sedimentation. Because every day, new information, new verbs, new adjectives, new vocabulary, and you say, no puedo con tantos inputs. I can't take so many inputs. Don't worry. Slowly, everything will settle. The dust will settle. You see, when somebody passes a horse, you're galloping on a horse, on a road, on a dirt road, camino de tierra. Well, when you pass, the people on the side of the road, look at the dust. But the dust settles, okay? And you say, all of the words you hear will sediment. And finally, you will begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so, te quiero animar. I want to encourage you. Y no quiero que te desanimes. I don't want you to get discouraged. Pero si al cabo de un año sigues igual, pues es bastante desalentador. Discouraging. Number 2. Supongo que sí. I guess so. I guess we have to go. I guess. Eso se oye. Seguro que lo digo yo 10 veces al día. I guess. Y I suppose, una vez a la semana. O 3 veces a la semana. Not very often. And what's the difference in el sentido de suponer? I guess, I suppose. There is a difference. But first, to guess has a second meaning. To guess is adivinar. Huh? Guess, for example, Guess which hand the pen is in. Well, it's here. Guess. Guess. Guess what the next list, guess what the first word is on the next list. Guess. Adivina. I'll give you a hint. Te daré una pista. I'll give you a hint. ¿A qué no sabes la primera palabra de la lista 28? ¿A qué no sabes? I bet you don't know. ¿A qué no lo sabes? I bet you don't know. I bet. Me apuesto aquí. I bet you don't know the first word on the next list. I'll give you a hint. It starts with an I, both in Spanish and in English. Okay? I'll give you another hint. Another hint. It has to do with money, usually. All right? I'll give you another hint. It has to do with money that comes to you, not goes to other people from you. It comes to you from people or from entities. Okay? Do you want another hint? Yeah? The second letter is I, in. All right? In Spanish and in English. It's interesting. Te rindes. Do you give up? Do you give up? Or do you want me to give you? Do you want me to give you another hint? ¿Quieres una pista más? Vamos. All right. When you pay taxes to the public administration, you pay taxes based on this concept. Do you know what I mean now? Or do you give up? Come on, can't you guess? Adivina. No? You give up? Okay. Ingresos, income. El impuesto sobre la renta o los ingresos. Your income. All right. All right, so, to guess es adivinar. Pero to guess se usa mucho más en el sentido de suponer. Igual que suppose. Ahora, to suppose es una suposición. I guess es supongo que sí, supongo en el sentido de cuando, ay, un poco te rindes. Mira, dicen que nos tenemos que ir, pues supongo que tendremos que ir. I guess we have to go. ¿Qué remedio? In the sense of ¿qué remedio? Decimos guess. Pues supongo que tendremos que hacerlo. Supongo que no hay más remedio que parar el programa ahora. I guess we have to stop. All right, I guess. Okay. So, supongo que sí is I guess so. Do we have to leave now? Tenemos que salir ahora. ¿Nos dicen que tenemos que salir ahora? Supongo que sí. I guess so. I guess so. Okay, we have no choice. There's nothing we can do. We have to go. So I guess so. All right. Desalentador, discouraging. Supongo que sí. I guess so. A pesar de, in spite of. In spite of. Tres palabras. In spite of. Ahora, spite, escrito spite, spite, has basically the meaning of rencor o despecho. Spite. Una persona rencorosa is a spiteful person. Despechado. Una persona despechada is a spiteful person. I remember reading a book, a novel. I don't remember if it was Galdós or Clarín. I can't remember. But it was one of the important novelists of the 19th century in Spain. And I remember seeing the expression, a despecho de, and I was surprised. I said, well, what's that? But I knew the word despecho. Despecho is spite. And so I said, ¿será posible que en inglés y en español, in spite of, sea lo mismo? But of course, here people say a pesar de, and we say in spite of, tres palabras. Pero hay una alternativa, que es despite. Y eso es una sola palabra. In spite of your refusal, a pesar de tu negativa, he decidido seguir adelante de todas formas. Escuchad. In spite of your refusal, I have decided to go ahead. In spite of your refusal. I know, sé que te has negado a ayudarme. I know that you have refused to help me. I know that you have refused, Pedro, Maria, Inés, Manolo. I know that you have refused to help me. But in spite of your refusal, I'm going to do it. Do you understand? I'm going to go ahead. Voy a seguir adelante con el plan B. I know that you're against Plan B, but in my opinion, Plan B is, without a doubt, the best plan for the future of this company. And in spite of your refusal to help me in implementing Plan B, I'm going to go ahead and implement it without your help and without your support. I don't need your support. I'm the general manager of this company, so my decision is the final decision. Now, if some of my colleagues are not going to support me, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead, a pesar de tu negativa, o vuestra negativa, I'm going to go ahead despite your refusal, despite your refusal. Despite escrito. Entonces, hay dos alternativas, ambas válidas. ¿Cuál es la más corriente? Probably it's 60-40 in favor of in spite of, curiosamente. También en español tenéis dos formas. A pesar de tu negativa, pese a tu negativa. You have two different ways. Of course, it's more common in Spanish to say a pesar de, que pese a. But in English we have both. In spite of and despite. And strangely, we use the longer alternative 60% of the time probably. In spite of. Y lo que es curioso, despite no lleva of, and I don't know why. Despite your refusal, I'm going to go ahead with Plan B. In spite of your refusal, I'm going to go ahead with Plan B. Another way of expressing the same idea is, even though you refuse to support me, I'm going to go ahead and implement Plan B. Even though you don't agree, even though you're against the plan, even though you're not going to support me, even though you have refused to give your support, I'm going to go ahead with Plan B. All right? In spite of. Voy a salir a pesar del tiempo atmosférico, los elementos. It's raining cats and dogs outside, and I have to go home. Yes, after this program, I have to go home. And I can hear the rain. Can you hear it? Listen. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? No? Es curioso esta forma de hablar en español, no en inglés. Para mí tiene más lógica en inglés. En español probablemente diríais, está lloviendo a cántaros fuera. ¿Lo oyes? ¿Lo oyes? Okay, in English, no. It's raining cats and dogs, gatos y perros. It's raining cats and dogs outside. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? No se puede decir lo oyes. Hay que decir lo puedes oír. Do you understand? Porque lo oyes, do you hear it, es el presente habitual. Do you hear the rain every day? Do you hear the rain on Saturdays and Sundays? Do you hear the rain in the summer? It doesn't make sense. All right. Entonces, ¿lo oyes? Can you hear it? It's raining cats and dogs outside. Now, when I leave this studio, the door's over there. When I walk out, there's a second door. But then you're in the elements and it's raining. And my car is parked about 150 meters from here. And I need to cross a parking lot, a car park, with no protection. And I'm going to get soaking wet, probably, because unless the rain slows down, se amaina, se ralentiza, se pone más lento. Unless the rain slows down, I'll get soaking wet, empapado, calado hasta los huesos. I'll get soaking wet. Soak, escrito soaque, soak, no, perdón, soak, como jabón, soap, con K al final en vez de P. Soak es dejar en remojo o calarse, empaparse. And to get soaking wet is mojarse hasta los huesos. If I go out now, and now this show is going to last, I think, about another 10 or 12 minutes. If the storm doesn't slow down, then I have a dilemma, and I have to decide. But I've already made my decision. My decision is made. I don't care if I get soaking wet. This is a nice sweater, and it will get wet. I don't have an umbrella. Nobody here has an umbrella. All the rest of the people are chicken, son gallinas. They're going to stay here until storm stops, okay? But me, no. In spite of the rain, I'm going to leave. In spite of the rain, I'm going to go home. In spite of the rain, I'm going to cross the car park to my car. In spite of the rain. También podría decir despite the rain. Despite. I recommend you choose the expression you like the best. In spite of, tres palabras, in spite of, or una sola palabra, despite. Despite. Maybe for you it's easier to say despite. Prescindes de los ofs y de los ins. Two prepositions on either side of spite. Despite the rain, I'm planning to leave at the normal time when this class is over. Okay. Ahora, si yo dijera, a pesar de que esté lloviendo, o que está lloviendo, a pesar de que está lloviendo a cántaros, voy a salir de aquí a pie hasta el coche. A pesar de que, escuchad, in spite of the fact that it's raining, I'm going to walk out and continue walking to my car, even if I get soaking wet. Me habéis entendido perfectamente bien, me supongo. Pero ¿os habéis fijado en la estructura de la frase? En español decís, a pesar de que está lloviendo, porque está lloviendo, se oye. Can you hear it? No? Okay. I guarantee you. Believe me, it's raining cats and dogs outside. Okay. Now, a pesar de que está lloviendo, aunque está lloviendo, a pesar de que está lloviendo, pienso marcharme de aquí. In spite of the fact that, in spite of the fact that, despite the fact that, despite the fact that. Okay. Es rarísimo, pero si decimos en inglés siempre, no existe la expresión a pesar de qué. Existe la expresión a pesar de, in spite of, a pesar de la lluvia, in spite of the rain, in spite of the microphone, in spite of the lights, okay, in spite of. Pero a pesar de qué, a pesar de que está lloviendo, o a pesar de que estén enfadados, okay, no existe a pesar de qué. Existe a pesar del hecho de qué. Del hecho de qué. Strange. In spite of the fact that. In spite of the fact that. 6 words. In Spanish, a pesar de que. 4 words. Okay. In spite of the fact that it's raining. Se usa mucho, ojo, esto no es rebuscado para nada. In spite of the fact that it's raining, my intention is to leave at the normal time because I need to get home. I have a lot of work to do at home tonight. I'm preparing dinner for my wife. She has a fever. She's in bed, the poor girl, with a temperature about 39 degrees when I left home this morning. So when I finish this program, I'm going home to take care of my wife, and I'm going to make dinner for her. Yeah, I'm going to make some chicken noodle soup, sopa de fideos, because she's sick, okay? And she has a fever. I spoke to her about an hour ago, and her temperature now is 38.5. So I'm going to, I need to leave. As soon as this class is over, I'm out of here. In spite of the fact that it's raining, in spite of the fact that it's cold, in spite of the fact that my car is 150 meters away, in spite of the fact that I will get soaking wet, I want to go home. In spite of the fact that, in spite of the fact that, in spite of the fact that. O bien, despite the fact that. Probablemente digo in spite of mucho más, yo, personalmente, pero el otro es una expresión preciosa, usarla. In spite of the fact that it's raining, even though it's raining. Eso es un camino más corto. Aunque está lloviendo, tengo intención de salir. Even though it's raining, I'm planning to go out. En este caso, en todos los ejemplos hasta ahora, está de verdad lloviendo. Entonces he dicho, in spite of the fact that it's raining, my intention is to leave at the normal time. Even though it's raining, my intention is to leave, my plan is to leave when this class is over. Ahora imaginemos que no está lloviendo. Let's assume, or let's imagine, that it's not raining. Entonces no puedo decir estas frases porque no está lloviendo. Pero sí podría decir, aunque estuviera lloviendo, saldría a la hora. Even if, even though cambia even if. Escuchad, aunque está lloviendo, supongamos que está lloviendo. Aunque está lloviendo, pienso salir de aquí, andando. even though it's raining. Ahora, caso de que no está lloviendo, aunque estuviera lloviendo, even if, no se puede decir aquí even though. Even if it were, no, it is. En la primera, even though it's raining, I plan to leave. Even though it is raining. El otro, aunque estuviera, even if it were. Okay? Now, watch. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to drop this book on the table, okay? I'm going to drop the book on the table. Now, are you ready? And you can say, oh, why don't you remove your hand? The book is very heavy. It could hurt your hand. And I say, nah. Even though my hand is on the table, I'm going to drop the book, okay? Even though my hand is on the table, I'm going to drop the book. Watch. Y he dicho watch porque iba a realizar una acción. Look at me. Look at the microphone. Look at it. Look at the microphone, yeah? Look at my forehead. Look at the ring on my hand. Inanimate objects, you look at people or at objects in order to look at them intrinsically. But if you fix your vision on movement, and what's interesting is the movement, it's watch. So look at this book. Look at it. It's a thick book. It's a big book. It's a heavy book. Yeah, look at it. Now, watch. Okay? I have dropped the book. In this case, on my hand. Y me decís, bueno, ¿por qué no retiras la mano? Retírala, por favor. No, pienso dejarle caer el libro, aunque mi mano está ahí. Estando mi mano ahí. I'm going to drop the book, even though my hand is on the table, even though. Ahora, I would drop the book on the table even if my hand were on the table. Even if my hand were on the table. Okay? So, even though, even if, in spite of the fact that, despite. It's a lot of information. I'll talk about this again probably in 1 month, or maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 2 months. But every 2 or 3 months, I will talk about this same concept until you have it. Also, if you go into the internet or you go into a grammar book, you can see explanations of in spite of, despite, in spite of the fact that, despite the fact that, even though, even if. Okay? The next one, asfalto. Asphalt. Asphalt is made from petroleum. It's a petroleum product. Asphalt. Okay. La jungla de asfalto. In the asphalt jungle. Big cities. This city could be considered an asphalt jungle. But really, the concept of asphalt jungle was first coined. Coined como una moneda, as a coin. Ahora, inventar un término. We say to coin a word, to coin a term, to coin an expression. And the expression asphalt jungle was coined in New York City in the 1940s or 1950s. Yes, especially in the period of Latino Negro Americano. Yes, these type of black and white movies in Hollywood, the asphalt jungle. Asphalt is made from petroleum. Most streets and highways are made of asphalt. It's a very good material, and it's very quick, relatively fast. You can use asphalt to make highways. When I was growing up, I remember the highways in Texas. When I was a little boy, I remember the highways were not made of asphalt. By the time I was a teenager, most of the highways were made of asphalt. So the highways in Texas were transformed from concrete to asphalt during the middle of the 1950s to the middle of the 1960s or 1970. Over a period of 15 years, they changed the highways from hormigón, carreteras de hormigón, concrete highways, they transferred them to asphalt highways. And now practically everywhere asphalt is. And that requires petroleum. And that's one reason the oil prices are so high, because we need oil for so many things. All right, finally, now I can go home and make dinner for my wife. And it's raining cats and dogs outside, but I'm planning to go in spite of the weather, okay? And please study, all right? Please study and help me with my job. Thank you very much.